Okay, I've decided I'm going to get ChatGPT to generate a crochet pattern for me, and I'm going to go with a frog amigurumi. Okay, so here I am in ChatGPT, and into the chat window I'm going to start asking it to create a pattern for me. So I'm going to type in, can you generate a crochet pattern of a whimsical and cute amigurumi frog? And then I'm going to specify the pattern should not take more than 1 to 2 hours because I want this to be a very quick project. And the finished piece shouldn't be more than 4 to 5 inches in height because, again, I don't want to spend too much time on this project. And so then I hit enter and it starts to generate all the information for me. So it's pretty easy to do. Now we actually get into the creation. I've got my yarn. I'll be using this red heart green color. It's called spring green, and it also says to use some white. So I've got some small amounts of white and small amounts of black. And it also says to use a 3.5mm hook and some stuffing, of course. So wish me luck, and let's see how this turns out. So for those of you who are not familiar with this tool, ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence chatbot or language processing tool that was developed by OpenAI. It's great because you can ask it questions in a conversational, natural, human way. And it does have its limitations, but from what I've seen so far, it's pretty cool. And my little nerd heart is thinking this is one step away from having a robot friend that I can crochet and chat with. So one of the first things I noticed right away is that the pattern says to join at the end of each round with a slip stitch and start each round with a chain 1. And I'm so used to working in continuous rounds with all my amigurumi that I had to start over a few times each round just because by default I work in continuous rounds. So this took a bit of getting used to. But here I have finished the body and I have stuffed it, and as you can see it's a small body. And not only is it a small body, but the opening is pretty big. Usually in amigurumi pieces, when it's the end of a round, especially if it's something like a sphere like this, the last round is usually made up of 6 single crochet stitches so that it's a smaller opening. But in this case, it ended with 12 single crochet stitches. So now here I'm just going in and sewing the opening closed as well as I can. I did want to stay true to the pattern and not deviate. So this is my improvisation with this particular step, is I'm just using a yarn needle to sew the opening closed. So I'm about to start sewing the arms. The pattern instructions don't actually say where to put things, which is fine. I mean, I can just figure it out. But I mean, the legs, they're pretty stumpy and really big in comparison to the body. So I mean, I've attached the legs where legs typically go, but looks a little weird. So now I'm gonna add the arms, and again, I don't know where exactly to put them. I'm just gonna put them off to the side. I really don't know about this. This is so weird. Arm number 1. Okay, also I think it just, the way that I sewed the legs on is a little bit off center, which also adds to just the weirdness. Okay, here's the body with the legs and the arms. I just need to add the eyes, but it is at this point where I realize that I probably shouldn't have used the word whimsical in my request to ChatGPT, and I should have just left it at Amigurumi frog. Maybe that's the only explanation I can think of as to why it looks like this, as though ChatGPT has never seen a frog. I mean, it's AI tool, I know, but there's just so much information on the internet that I should know what a frog looks like. Anyway, the eyes, that's another thing, is the pupils and the whites are the exact same size. So I purposely, when I was making the pupils, I purposely used a tighter tension so that when I put it over the whites, I mean, the whites are still going to be hard to see, but maybe it's just to give it some depth. I might sew the pupils a little bit, like a bit of an offset on the whites, just so that it's easier to see. But yeah, that's another thing. So I'll work on that and then do a big reveal of my ChatGPT generated amigurumi frog. Are you ready to see what this ChatGPT generated frog pattern turned out to be? Okay, here's the big reveal. Ta-da! Is this not the weirdest looking frog you have ever seen? This is not a frog. Like, I don't know what this is supposed to be, but yeah. Maybe feel free to think of another name to give this. Yeah, I think ChatGPT has a lot of learning to do. Obviously, it's not designed to generate crochet patterns, and maybe I was a little bit optimistic in thinking that I would be able to make something that actually resembles a frog. So live and learn, but I'm really glad I went with a very small and quick to make project, and I didn't spend hours or possibly days on something a lot bigger. So yeah, if you want to try that out, I recommend going to ChatGPT and typing in something like, I don't know, amigurumi bear, something small. Definitely recommend making something small. You probably don't want to invest so much time on something that's not gonna even, yeah, like, what is this? This is too funny. But yeah, I will actually share the pattern that was generated. It'll be on my blog, and if you feel like making whatever this is, feel free to do that. And if you do, feel free to also tag me and let me know that you've made it. See how your version turns out. I'm really curious if you do make one of these. So I hope you have enjoyed this little weird creation, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.